Again, what do you guys think? Everybody okay
Yeah,
with
let's
that?
dive into it.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go. Here we go, guys. Session one, it begins. The 100K factory. Um, I think this is probably the most important thing to say right up front in many different languages, but thank you, thank you, thank you so much. You know,
Yeah.
they take this really, really seriously. I don't know that I can even impress upon you how much we take this seriously. Um, but it's a big deal for us. I know it's a big deal for you, big investment. And, we just wanted you to know how incredibly thankful we are and how serious we take it. And, we basically are putting our own businesses on hold for probably at least 3 months by the time we, kind of make sure that we, get everybody moving and all that kind of stuff. And people work at their own pace sometimes. So, that's kind of what we're faced with here. And I'm excited to kind of stop selling, and just start teaching. I mean, I think this is always my favorite part of when we're, launching a course and when we kind of get everybody together and we start down the path. It's a great time. All things are possible, and everybody's really excited. So I am certainly excited. All right. Just bear with me one moment. Okay. So let's talk about the team. We have got the A team here. And I'm not going to make any comments about who is who in the picture. But obviously that's Aiden on the right. I mean, that's Aiden really likes his
You can
jewelry.
use your imagination.
Yeah. So we've got me, Steve, and most of you probably know me from films like the sales video for 100K Factory. But Aiden and I are business partners, and we're the creators here of the product. And then we've got lots of other people helping out. Mark and Brent, some of you may have heard from on some of the webinars. Chris, you probably haven't heard from, but you're going to hear from quite a bit. And I'll talk more about Chris in a minute. And Melissa, David, Cheryl, you may have heard or talked to Melissa if you had some billing issues or anything like that. But those guys will probably be more kind of behind the scenes. But on the webinars, there'll be some combination of myself, Aiden, Mark, Brent, and Chris every time. Okay. So that's the team that we have right now. And again, I'm going to talk. Chris has a special role on this team, and I'll talk to you about that as we get a little further here. So one of the first things that we asked you guys to do was to take a survey, a one-question survey, to see when are the best times for these training sessions. And I thought I'd just share the results with you so that you could figure out why we are, changing the times. So this covers about 80% of the folks who are going to attend the training, these 4 time slots, okay? And you can see the percentage of people, 35% of you guys actually preferred this one. But there are these 4 slots that we're going to be rotating through, and we'll probably use this one. I believe we use this one a little bit more than the others, just given the fact that it was kind of double its closest competitor there. Okay, but this is what everybody said in the survey. Does everybody remember the Richard
We're
Dawson?
talking Eastern. By the way, when we mention these times, we're always talking Eastern time zone, guys.
Yep,
So
yep, very
it's
good
New
point.
York time zone.
I do have some 80s TV references here. So I've got the A Team. I've got, I'm sure this is back from the 80s too, right? I don't even remember what the hell this was called. I don't remember. Richard Dawson, Family Feud. There you go. So we are also going to be switching to Thursdays for a variety of reasons. People like to go out on Fridays, and there's other issues with Friday nights and into Saturdays and things like that. So we're going to switch to Thursdays from now on, and so Thursday is the new Friday. So this is our training schedule. Now, there is always an opportunity because we're planning pretty far out in advance. So, we might make some changes. So you just have to be, kind of aware of that. We'll obviously do our best to notify everyone. But this is kind of where we're at. We'll obviously be putting this, you don't have to even copy this down or anything. You're going to get a replay of this and the slides and quick start guide and summary and all that kind of stuff. So, you really don't have to worry too much about copying stuff like this down. I mean, I would take notes on, kind of the strategies and things like that. But as far as this kind of stuff, you'll have other ways to reference it. Also, we'll be setting up the registration links and everything. I think we'll be doing that tomorrow, right, Chris? Did you say we'll probably end up setting all those up tomorrow? Chris is on mute, so probably.
Yes.
Yes. He said yes.
Just unmute himself.
Okay. Okay, so we'll get those set up tomorrow, and this will take us through to August 27th. And I'm pretty sure that this gets us, I'd have to go back and look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think this gets us all the way through phase 3, but I'll have to go back and take a look. Okay. Now, I'm just doing some housekeeping first, and then we'll kind of dive into, the training for tonight. Bonus
and just a couple of people have mentioned they're seeing a black screen. If you're having any issues, you will be able to see everything perfectly on the replay. Okay, yeah. So I'm not sure why that would be that you're seeing a black screen.
Yeah. So bonus delivery, just so you know, there are a lot of bonuses that are already in there. We have a fairly complicated task to try and make sure we get all the right bonuses to all the right people, but please rest assured that we are on task. Okay, so I would expect that, within the next week or so, we're going to get all those little kinks worked out and everybody will have all the things that they're supposed to have. In the meantime, if you could just be patient, because the more people that send in like emails about, well, where's my bonus? And it's like, okay, well, we have to answer those before we can actually get to making sure that everybody has the right stuff. So if you would, just a little patience. There's enough in there bonus-wise for those of you who are getting certain bonuses and stuff to keep you busy. Believe me, the white label cheat sheet for some of you is probably, is enough to keep you busy for a long time. So please hang in there, relax. Just have a little bit of patience. We are on it. It's really important to us. We're going to make it happen, okay? Let's talk about getting support and help. We've got a whole bunch of ways, and for a whole bunch of different, reasons and things like that. So if you've got, kind of those sort of administrative stuff, billing, login issues, hey, I want to change the email address that I'm set up as, things like that, then please just go to our help desk, support.blueprintcentral.com. That's probably the quickest way to get support, and then we can focus on, kind of the things that are more strategic in nature with the 100K Factory. So the 100K Factory help at gmail.com is really all the go-to place, okay? So all training issues and questions, anything to do with the course, even anything to do with the tools, anything like that, can go to 100kfactoryhelp at gmail.com. And I'll explain a little bit more about how we're going to manage these email boxes in a second. Now, we've also set up 100K Factory Emergency at gmail.com. Now, this is for emergencies. Now, certainly, everybody's idea of what an emergency is different. So, for example, today, we had someone who used that email address to simply say, hi, I wanted to introduce myself. So, I would just say that's probably not an emergency, okay? And it is certainly left open to you to determine what is an emergency. Nobody's going to yell at you or anything like that. But, I would try and make sure that it really is. We had a couple people who lost the link to the webinar like a half an hour before the webinar or whatever. It's kind of an emergency, right? Because, if you really wanted to attend live, that kind of thing. The other way that we're going to have interaction is on these, you can call them go, no-goes, green lights, checkpoints, and we'll talk about those because we have the first one coming up right away, actually. So there'll be more detail about that tonight. And we've got some other ideas about how to make sure that we get the best interaction with all of us to make sure that everybody's moving in the right direction. So that stuff is coming. So how do we see this working and kind of, who's doing what and when are these manned? These are all, as Aidan said before, we're talking about Eastern time here. Our support email, our support.blueprintcentral.com is every business day is 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So there's someone there quite a bit, and again, during every business day. The help email, we are going to be manning that between 6 a.m. and 7 p.m. every business day. Now, the triage will sort of vary, okay, as far as kind of like who's watching it to make sure that everybody's getting what they need. Basically, what's going to happen is one of us will be managing that and saying, okay, this person needs some help. So, and if I can't just answer it or help them immediately, then we're going to have to go to kind of like a level 2. And that level 2 could go to the programmers. It could go to one of the team members that I introduced when I introduced the team. But the key is somebody who is best able to handle that. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. For example, you're not going to want me to be looking at anything as far as design goes. You're just not going to get a good answer, So we all have our strengths and weaknesses, and what we'll try and do is make sure that the best member of the team starts to work with you to fix your problem. So that might mean, right, that sometimes it's right away because the best member of the team happens to be the one kind of manning the email box, or it might mean that the best member of the team is Aiden, and he's out for the night, or he's out for the day, or God forbid he's taking a little time off, something like that. So then it might take a little bit of time. Okay. Now the emergency email, we are trying to man about 16 hours per business day for immediate action. I don't want to say that it's going to always be manned on Saturday and Sunday, but pretty much if we're around, we're always going to be taking a peek and making sure that nothing new pops up in there, nothing new that's a real emergency, as opposed to someone just trying to introduce themselves over Saturday or Sunday, okay? And Chris, in his role, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute, is going to be riding shotgun over all of this, okay? So let's talk about Chris. We're calling Chris our customer satisfaction ninja. Chris, you didn't even know that was your job title, did you?
Now we do.
There you go. Now we've never had a customer satisfaction ninja, so we are very excited, but we're a little nervous, not quite sure. But we really wanted to make sure that we brought somebody in on the team whose only job it is to make sure that everybody's happy, which is a tall order. Wakes up every morning and just thinks of ways to make it easier for you guys. So, I look at Chris as kind of the, just your representative, your liaison, and somebody who's an advocate for you. So Chris is going to be making sure that the recordings get up to date, the members area is up to date, that everybody's getting their bonuses, that everybody's aware of what's going on with replays and such, and coordinating the summary and cheat sheets and things like that. And basically also to just kick us on the butt and say, come to us and say, listen, this is not clear. People are having trouble with this. Maybe you should do this. Okay, whatever it takes. But that is the customer satisfaction ninja. So we're very excited to see that in process. I talked a little bit about checkpoints. These are all the same thing, right? You could call them green lights, go, no-goes, checkpoints. For phase 1, we're going to have at least 3 of them. Okay, we have 3 of them planned out right now. So the first one is from session 1, which is today, which is picking your niches and domains. And session 2 is that one will be that your Facebook pages are ready to go. And session 3 is that your websites are ready to go. Don't worry about this yet. Believe me, I'm giving you a big picture, and then we are going to narrow our focus and bring it down to the first task. So I'm going to show you the whole elephant, and then we're going to eat the elephant one bite at a time to beat that dead horse, okay? Now, something else I want to let you know, if tomorrow you are going to get an email, well, you should. You should get an email tomorrow that says something like, hey, we had our great kickoff webinar last night, okay? And the replay is available in the members area. Please go get it, all right? Something like that. If by Monday, okay, just to be on the safe side, you do not get that email, then somehow, some way, you're not set up properly. If it didn't show up in your spam or your junk or whatever, we always have all sorts of problems trying to make sure everybody gets emails. If you don't get an email like that, okay, then please go to the members area and go to the email sign up and put your email in, even if you did it before, because sometimes it just doesn't work. Okay? This way, because this is our way to communicate to everybody. And I want to make sure that you're going to get all the emails. So please, please do that. Okay? Okay. I am going to give you an overview of phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. There'll be progressively less detail between phase 1, 2, and 3 because I want everybody to focus, okay? But I want everybody to understand where we're headed. I want you to see the whole elephant, and then we will begin to eat the elephant one bite at a time. And I promise I'll try to stop using that metaphor. But it's so good, I'm not sure that I can. Okay, overview of phase 1. So what are we trying to do here? I want to be very, very specific. We want to build 4 websites and the associated Facebook pages. Now notice I didn't say 4 Facebook pages. I'm not quite sure how many Facebook pages that you are going to build. You'll build as many as you need, and we'll tell you how many you need. We're going to build an audience as our foothold. And if some of you saw the webinars, which I hope you did, you'll have a little bit of an idea of what that means. But we're going to build a small, well, not a small, a rather large audience as our foothold. We're going to use some proprietary software that we have to market proven content to drive massive amounts of cheap traffic and often free traffic. We're going to optimize marketing campaigns and optimize our ad serving so that we make money. We're going to monetize with AdSense or something like it at first because it is the easiest thing, okay? Now, if you're an advanced marketer and you're already doing a whole bunch of other things, can you do something other than that? Yes, but we're going to try and get everybody to do the same process, and I'll talk about that in a minute, okay? And up front, AdSense or something like it, so please, if you've gotten banned by AdSense, there are other things like AdSense, no problem. We'll tell you about those when it's time, okay? But we're going to monetize with something like AdSense so that we can reach $2,000 per month per site profit goal. And then I want you in maintenance mode and preparing for phase 2 and 3. Maintenance mode meaning let's continue to make money. Okay, that is phase 1 on one slide. Phase 2, we have this incredibly focused audience that we're developing. What are we going to do with it? There are so many options. Physical products, info products, Kindle, affiliate marketing, email marketing, all sorts of things we can be doing, and we will be doing them all with software and tools and sneaky tactics and all of our secrets to squeeze out even more money. The results are insane. Some of you saw in the webinar, I forget if it was Brent or Mark, had a product and he sold, $17,000 in one day of this product. Okay, and that was all because he basically employed the stuff that we're going to show you in phase 2. Okay. Now, don't worry if you don't have a physical product, an info product, Kindle affiliate marketing. Don't worry. I don't want you to get lost or upset yet. This is think of this as the second elephant. I don't know. Okay. We're going to come back to the first elephant. We're going to eat it in chunks. But I want to give you an idea of what we're going to try and accomplish together. Phase 3, again, you'll notice that I'm getting progressively less detailed here. Phase 3, we're going to turn it up to 11. Does anybody get that reference? I'm going to look in the chat box. Come on. Somebody's got to get that reference. Come on. Come on. Yes! Nice. There's some old people here with me. Love it. All right. And another 80s reference. It's called Spinal Tap is the movie, or this is Spinal Tap. And, what we're talking about here is scaling, taking this whole thing and just blowing the doors off of it, okay? We have much to teach, okay? But we're going to bring it back to bite-sized chunks. But I want you to know why I've scheduled you through the end of August, okay? Because phase 1 is only going to take us till really through session 8, that kind of the first 60 days, all right? But I wanted you to know why I want you around longer than that, okay? Okay. So let's talk even more detail now. We're only going to focus on phase 1. I'm going to tell you what we're going to do in each session. I'm going to lay out the next 8 sessions. This is session 1. We're going to be talking about niche selection, domain selection. So we're going to pick a niche or 2, and we'll talk about that. and we're going to find you 4 domains. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to train you to do tonight, and what you're going to do between now and session 2. In session 2, we're going to build Facebook pages. We're going to put together an initial content plan. We're going to begin building the websites, and we are going to figure out our monetization plan. All right? And we are going to start building our audience on the Facebook pages. In session 3, we're going to continue to build our audience. We're going to completely build out all our websites, and we're going to put together our initial content plan for those websites, execute that plan, and then make sure that we are all set up for our monetization, whatever that may be. Session 4, we are going to start the traffic avalanche. We're going to run ad campaigns. We're going to work on creating those ads, running those ads, making sure we spend just pennies, okay? We're going to evaluate and tweak, and our goal there is to start to run a campaign for one of your 4 sites. So that is session 4, and it is not that far away, okay? And we have much to do. Sessions 5, 6, and 7 are going to be an expansion of that to all 4 sites. What we envision here is a lot of hot seats, examples, just showing in the case study, and which I'll talk about in a little while, of our own stuff, how we're doing, and just basically learning by example and just going through iterations of what we're talking about with different marketing campaigns. So we expect to spend, because folks, this is really the meat. The other stuff is fairly, some of it's not, straightforward, but this is really where the rubber meets the road. This is how you make the money, okay? So we got to spend some time on this, all right? And we're going to judge how everybody's doing, and then we probably will make some adjustments on those sessions. Maybe we'll do a Q&A, we'll do just a show and tell, we'll figure it out as we kind of see how everybody's doing. And then session 8, we want to bring it all together with the long-term work planning and scheduling and cash flow management and all that kind of stuff. Basically, let's be able to put this kind of on autopilot while we intro ourselves into phase 2. All right. Now, let me just check and make sure there aren't any questions. All right. Hey, Chris, if you're reading the question box and you come across something that, I need to stop for, if you could just let me know that'd be awesome.
Sure.
Okay. And yes, each session is per week. We'll do 1 session per week. Okay. I have no idea how to get rid of the thing that's over there now. There we go. Okay, good. Adjustments. We will probably make adjustments to this schedule, to the content, to how we train on it, how we introduce it. I'm not exactly sure how, but we'll just have to see. Okay. So because things do change, and people learn differently, and we will learn from people as well. Okay. Now, a word about rushing ahead. Everybody, I get this all the time. Okay. I can do it faster. I can do it faster. I can do it faster. I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can. I'm sure a lot of people can. I don't want you to. I can't tell you, we didn't used to deliver our courses like this. We would have them all done and in there. And I cannot tell you how many times I would release a course that was quite involved. I mean, you're talking about hours and hours of video, maybe 10, 15 hours of video, and, lots of tools and lots of steps to go through and things like that. And 12 hours after I opened the course and somebody got in, I would get this message saying, yeah, I've done it all, and I don't really know what to do next, or I just this didn't work for me. I'm like, really? In 12 hours you did the whole thing, which should have taken you like 60 days? I mean, it's just unbelievable. So I'm not saying everybody would do that, but I just want you guys to just take a deep breath and work with us and just take it step by step, because even if you feel like you want to move faster, this is the best way to ultimately end up where you want to be. You're just going to have to trust me on that. And it also helps with like the software release schedule and support and the go no-goes. If we kind of, as best we can, sort of herd people through at the same time, because it's just easier. And for example, the software, we're going to be releasing it by module, and you're going to get the module that you need for any given moment in time. Because I know if I release the content module, here's what's going to happen. I'm not going to have any time to answer questions about domains and niches, which is really important to most people, because everybody's going to play with the content. That's exactly what will happen. And then I'll get like a million questions about the content. All right. I know this to be true. All right. So we're not doing it. We're not rushing ahead. And this is the way it's going to be because it's the best way. And that kind of goes along with the, I thought this was hilarious. I stole this from somebody. I don't know. It's another 80s TV reference with Fantasy Island. But since I'm always talking about the plan and just follow the plan, please. That's all I'm asking. If you follow the plan, I'll help you till I pass out. Okay. Okay. So if you've been banned, this is awful. Sounds horrible. If you've been banned by Google AdSense, don't worry about that. Okay. We're going to address that in the when we get to monetization. Okay, because there's other options for us. If you've been banned by Facebook advertising, I'd like you to send an email to the emergency section. Okay, the emergency email address, and then we're going to try and help those that we can. Okay. I don't know what this slide or this picture necessarily has to do with competition, but I really liked it. It did, in all fairness to me, it did come up when I went into Google image search and typed in competition. So, I got that going for me. But I loved this slide. So just a word about competition, because I have heard already in the chat box, people talking about, there's, what if other people are doing this? There's too many people doing it, whatever. This is, and I talked about this in the webinar, so at the risk of repeating myself, I think this is really, really worthwhile. This is so unlike anything else that you've ever done, that I've ever done with regard to competition. It is the first time when you can absolutely say that competition really doesn't matter. And it's because you guys are not really competing against each other. Even if you pick exactly the same niche and exactly the same sort of sub niches that you're going to build your sites about. And so why is that? When you're talking, physical products are probably the easiest way that I can make the example work. If you're selling, pick something. If you're selling, red widgets, I always use my example, red widgets. If you're selling red widgets and 20 other students that you're working with are selling red widgets, then you are all competing for the customer, that one customer at any one moment in time who says, I need a red widget, right? He goes to Amazon or whatever, he goes to Google search, and he says, I need to buy one red widget, and I got 21 of you to look at and buy from. I'm going to buy from one of you, and the rest of you are screwed, right? So that's why competition is bad. Because this guy only wants to buy one red widget, and only one person can win. But in this scenario, in trying to get people to come to those sites, which is really the goal, that's like almost a sale, okay, because if you can get the traffic, you can make the money. You're not competing, because this guy who wants to buy the red widget in this different example, he will gladly go to all 21 sites as long as you're giving him interesting content. And he doesn't put one against the other. It's all about that individual piece of content. Okay? And you know this because you've clicked on Mashable and Huffington Post, and I freaking love science. So you don't care. You don't even know. You're not saying, and it's not, and because you want more than one red widget, you are just simply interested in that kind of content, and you're going to consume it from anybody. It doesn't matter. Okay? So hopefully people can understand that's why competition is really not an issue at all. Okay. Okay, so I'm a big believer in setting goals, and I want to set the goal for phase one. So before we dive into the training that that's for tonight, that's for this session, that will drive our action items. I want to know what's our goal. This is what finished looks like for me for phase 1. I'd like you to build 4 sites. I should not have put 4 Facebook pages. We'll build as many Facebook pages as we want, as we need. Could be 1, it could be 4. You'll learn our process to get to 100K per year run rate, and you'll put that process in place to maintain it, and then you'll prepare for phase 2 and 3. We don't have any goals yet for phase 2 and 3. We're just going to focus on phase 1. Okay? So that's what I want our goal to be. So how are we going to structure these sessions? I like to look at what the action items are before we begin, so that you can always be referring back to those during the training and always be asking yourself, do I have enough information to accomplish the action items? Okay? We'll go over the training that's needed to achieve the action items. We'll go through any go, no-go requirements if applicable. That won't be applicable to every session. It is applicable to tonight. Maybe there'll be other resources that you should be looking at or reading or interacting with, and we'll look at that if applicable. We'll have Q&A, and then we'll review the action items again. Okay, so that's going to be our structure. We're deviating from it tonight just because this is the first one, and we want to introduce a lot of things. So let's dive into it, though. Okay, let's talk about what are the action items that I expect you to be able to do tonight. I want you to select the appropriate number of niches for you, and we're going to tell you what that is. I would like you to select 4 domains. We're going to tell you how to do that. I would like to have you either decide that you're going to stay with your own hosting or obtain new hosting, and I'll explain why I think you should do one or the other and where you should go if you want new. And there will be a go, no-go point for this session where I want you to report back what niches you picked and what domains you picked. And there's a little bit more detail that goes with that. Hey, Brent and Mark, I'm going to set the stage here, and then I'm going to kind of turn it over to you. And we may want you, I think we definitely will, want you to take over the screen, either one of you guys, so that you can do some of this. We might throw out some examples and work through them.
Sure.
Okay. Who am I going to throw that to? Am I going to throw that to Brent or Mark?
Brent.
Roger. Okay. So take down all the dirty pictures that might be on your
Got it.
On your desktop. All right. Okay. Niches. You have 2 choices. And again, I refer you back to follow the plan. Okay? If you want to deviate from the plan, certainly I can't force you to not do that. But I would just urge you to, for now, follow the plan. In a couple weeks, if you want to do more, that's perfectly acceptable. Perfectly acceptable. But you've got 2 choices. And one, if you're a beginner. If you're a beginner, then I want you to pick, and we're going to show you how to do this. I want you to pick 1 big niche with 4 sub niches that will be your 4 sites. Okay? And don't worry that you don't know how to do that yet. We're going to show you. But if you're a beginner, and for most people, I want you to do that. Now, if you feel very strongly because you're already selling info products or physical products, or you've got a foothold in this niche or another niche, that you really need to focus on 2 niches at once, I understand that. If you've got some experience, then I would say as a compromise, pick 2 big niches and have 2 sub niches, 2 sites for each of those big niches. We're going to define what these things are in a moment. Now, if you're selling stuff already, regardless whether you do 1 big niche or 2 big niches, please choose the niche that you're in already for one of the big ones, whether it's the only one or one of the 2. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay? Because why wouldn't you? All right? Just checking the chat box here. Okay. Somebody's asking about the slides. Yeah, you're going to get the slides as well. Absolutely. Absolutely. A couple people have said that. Somebody says, what would you define as a beginner? Yeah, that's a really good question. I think in this scenario, I mean someone who doesn't have anything selling yet, whether that's info products, affiliate marketing, if you're not making revenue. I'll use that definition. Okay. Oops. So we're going to give you a few slides here, and then I think it's really all going to come together as we show you some examples. So don't sweat this if you don't really get it yet, okay? It takes a couple minutes. Kind of the best thing to do when you're looking at this is to start with things that you're interested in. I mean, you've heard that a million times, and you hear it a million times. It's kind of a cliche because it's true, okay? So start with something that you're passionate about, or, you know, again, if you have products already for sale, please, definitely. And start big. You know, it's always better and easier to start big, I think, when you're brainstorming, and then kind of dive deeper into that. And we're going to, again, stand by. We're going to show you how to do that. I would certainly stay away from anything seasonal. You know, I don't know that I'd really be that excited about, you know, Christmas as a niche, or Christmas decorating, or anything like that, or Halloween, in this example anyway. And then we're going to research each niche, or I'm going to keep it really simple, okay? So let's talk. I told you that you can have one big niche or two big niches. So the first step we need to do is, what's a big niche, right? Because that would be an important thing to define. Here's a big niche. A minimum of 5 million for the Facebook audience. That's it. That's the definition of a big niche. We're going to show you where to find that information in a minute. Okay? But if you use insights for your big niche idea, and it has a minimum of 5 million people for the audience, then it's a big niche. And you'll need one or two of those depending on what you chose. We told you that you're going to need 4 sub-niches, right? So you're going to need either 4 that all belong to the same big niche, or 2 that belong to each one of the 2 big niches that you selected. Okay, so let's see. So sub-niches, now that's what is going to be what the site is all about, okay? And again, I'm going to give you an example in just a second so we can be really, really clear about what that means. But the sub-niche, they have to have a minimum audience size of 150K, 150,000, all right? Now, they need to have a maximum of 5 million. And if they have more than 5 million, then they're too big, and they're a big niche. So if you started out with a big niche and you dove down a little bit and you said, well, let me find a sub niche of this big niche, and it's got a maximum of 5 million in the audience, then you found another big niche. And it also probably likely means that your big niche might be a little bit too big. And you should probably take that one that you thought was a sub niche and make that your big niche, because it meets the definition, right? Because the definition is minimum of 5 million. Right? And we're going to run through examples of this. So we're just trying to give you the foundation, and then we'll run through the examples. So minimum audience size of 150K to be a sub niche under your big niche, maximum audience of 5 million. And then what you want to do is find within that sub niche, you want to look at the Facebook pages that are out there. And we're going to show you how to do it. And you want to find at least 4 that meet this criteria. They've got 100 to 150,000 likes. They've got audience engagement, meaning that they have more than 3 pieces of content that were shared 100 times at least. And you can see that when you just go to their page. You don't have to look through years of posts, just look through the most recent posts. And that they have some kind of regular posting. Okay? All right. So here's an example. Big niche, hunting. Okay. Sub niches be deer hunting, duck hunting, outdoors camping, which is admittedly a little bit of a stretch away from hunting, but it does fall underneath there, and turkey hunting. Okay, so that's one example. So, Brent, you want to take this and just kind of, I can walk through these slides for a second. And this is basically, maybe it'd be better to just show it. Why don't you take the screen? Do you know how to do that? You were doing it the other day.
Somebody handed it to me, so I don't know.
Okay, all right. Well, I can do that. Let me do that.
Okay.
Let me get my glasses on here. I'm going to make you the presenter. You ready?
Okay. Sure.
All right. Let's see if that worked.
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I don't know. It said make present.
Make me presenter. All right.
That's what I just tried to do.
Can you see my screen? I guess would be the question, but I don't know.
No. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to go over to change presenter. Sorry. I'll do it. No worries.
Sorry.
No, it's mine. I think I have to do it anyway. All right, let's find you. Just bear with me 1 second. There we go. All right, I'm going to click OK and make you the presenter. Here we go.
Fantastic.
Did it work?
Yes, I think so. Let me know if you guys can see my screen.
Yeah, you're good, Brent.
I'm good?
Let me see if I can see it. Hold on a minute. I'm having a hard time seeing it. I think it's because I am like full scale on this one. Yeah. All right, let me pull your screen up. There we go. I can see it now.
I don't have your slides, so.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. I wanted you to do this. If you could show how to get to this place from just the home screen, that would be awesome. Just where most people show up on their
Sure. So I use a business Facebook account, so it'll be a little bit different than most people, but I'll show you what I've got here. So when you click this little button right here in the upper right-hand corner of your Facebook page, okay, you're going to be given a couple options. If you've never created ads, you're going to want to have to create an ad. You may not be able to manage one, but you're going to want to create an ad, and then from there, you'll have this Manage Ads platform pop up. Now, for me to access the same screen, I've got to use the business account here. So the business account would be the way that I would access that, which would be this way.
How do people who don't have a business account get to Audience Insights, Brent? Do we?
So sure, yeah. The same way, just under Manage Account. And once you hit Manage Account, it'll pop up and look exactly like this.
Okay.
For underneath your personal account. So I just had to go a couple extra steps because I have a business account. But when you hit Manage Ads, you're going to see the exact same screenshot that I'm showing you here.
Okay. And just to be clear, we're not doing any ads here, guys, tonight or anything like that. All we're doing is going to that place so that we can use the tool. That's all.
That's correct.
Right. Okay. Can you make your screen a little bigger, like maximize your browser?
Is that better?
Tremendously.
Okay, good. Excellent. So once you get to this screen, you can see this is an ad account that I've used not too long ago, kind of shut it off recently. And if I went to underneath Audience Insights right here on the left-hand side, you can get into that Audience Insights screen is where we want to be. So once this screen pops up, you're going to get these three boxes in this screen. I'm just going to simply select everyone on Facebook. And then from here, I'm able to use all the data that Facebook has on all the different niches that they have out there and available to us, the consumer, or actually us, the marketer.
Okay. So let's say somebody's interested in hunting, because we use that as an example. So, they're passionate about hunting. They love killing poor, defenseless little animals. So how would they decide whether that's a big niche or not?
Sure. So first and foremost, we want to make sure our location. I'm just going to base my example off the United States, and if you're outside the United States, it might be best to focus on the United States initially, and then kind of maybe graduate into whatever country you're in later on. But for now, just all our examples and everything's based on United States data. Yep. So if I'm searching for hunting as an example, I'm just going to leave this. Make sure it says United States. I'm going to leave all the gender and age criteria to be like basic, boring, and not changed. I'm going to type hunting in the interest box here. Hunting will pop up, and you'll go ahead and see the demographics for that particular niche. So right here, it shows between 25 and 30 million active people in that particular niche. It shows you a bunch of other data as well, like age and gender, and you can see all that data here. But the stuff that we focus on once we get this screen up is going to be, we're going to look here, and then we're going to focus right here on page likes.
Right. So
the page likes section, basically what it says is, underneath page likes, that these are, if I like the hunting spot on Facebook, or if I've chosen to like hunting on Facebook, and from that point they're going to take of that subset of people, in this case 30 million people, what other pages does that subset like? So in this case, the pages that they like are going to be these pages here.
Yep.
Okay. Is that pretty clear?
I think so. Let's ask. Let's see if we can get a read. Okay. I think we're gonna have to go. Let's go back again. Okay. So let's try this again. Let's use something else. Wait, don't close it all.
I didn't mean to. I apologize.
Yeah, and don't show Skype either. By the way, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, Mark quit Skyping me.
Let's use something else. Let's try muscle cars.
Sure.
So let's say that we're passionate about muscle cars. Okay.
Sure. Muscle cars.
Yeah.
So in order for me to go to muscle cars, all I simply do is I left everything up here the same. So United States,
right.
Age is not. I didn't make any changes. Gender, left it as all. And I simply, in this box, I deleted out hunting, like I just did for muscle cars. Type in muscle cars again. Select the muscle cars, and there we go. We've got an audience of about 5 to 6 million people.
Okay, so right away we know something. Okay.
Correct.
The definition of a big niche is that it has to have at least 5 million active people in the audience, right?
Correct.
So this is clearly a big niche.
Mm-hmm.
We know that for a fact. All right. So let's say we want to go, let's say we're a beginner and we want to go with the big niche of muscle cars.
Sure.
Then how do we now try and brainstorm for sub-niches that we can make into sites?
Absolutely. So just to clarify, when you hit initially and you were to type any interest in, you're going to end up on this demographic screen right here. So I'm going to want to go ahead and, like I said, I'm taking this subset which likes muscle cars, and I want to find out what other pages on Facebook that they happen to like. So people that like muscle cars also like these pages down here on the bottom, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start doing research in this area by basically just simply clicking on these links right here. So
right.
These are going to be all different Facebook pages, and I have them all opening up here. So we can just basically dive in and take a look and see what content's out there, and kind of pay attention to if there's any additional sub niches that we could actually focus on.
Right.
So let's go ahead.
No, go ahead. Keep going what you're doing, then I'll ask my question.
Sure. So this would be the first one. It's alt driver. You can see it right here. It's a website, just like many websites out there. It has this, the standard layout for a Facebook page. You can see that it has an audience over here of 2.1 million people that like this page.
Right.
It's got its own website and it's other social media properties. So this might be a site that does exactly the same model that we're talking about with this program. Just by just simply by looking at it off the top.
Right. But
so
it doesn't.
Go ahead.
It doesn't help us find a sub niche right now, at least not yet.
Not yet. I mean, muscle cars in and of itself is right on that bubble between being a niche and a sub niche. It's like anything 5 million and below would be a sub niche, but we're right at 5 to 6, so we're kind of right at that bubble.
Right.
But we can start digging in here and finding other types of things that are not quite muscle cars, but for instance, you got maybe this is Lamborghini, so what does that be not an import, but a exotic car?
Yeah.
That might be a sub niche. We could look that up. things like that. But,
yeah, but I wouldn't go
so
that
that's
way.
kind of important to note.
Here's the thing, though. For me, that's not a sub niche of muscle cars. So it breaks the rule. I'm done.
Okay.
Because it's not. So here's what I would do. Let's go back to the audience insights.
Sure.
And sometimes instead of the answer being presented to you, like by looking at other Facebook pages, you simply know by common sense, right? So you can look at like muscle car trucks or something like that.
Right.
Or what would you call those? Like monster trucks or something along those lines, something like that. Or actually, yeah, like American muscle. So there you go. So that would probably be one.
American muscle cars.
Okay. So now,
this one would be like a pretty good sub niche of that. However, you're looking at, this is what we got here. The active population of people that are just focused simply on this particular niche, American muscle cars, is pretty small.
Too small.
It doesn't fit our criteria.
Yeah, which is shocking to me, actually.
Yeah.
But then if you look down, on those pages below it, there you got American muscle cars. You've got legendary muscle cars, classic car liquidators. To me, I think we're going to have trouble finding, muscle car sub niches here.
Correct. Just because, like I mentioned, 5 million is that's right on our bubble. That's the maximum niche, size that we're looking for.
Yeah.
So if we were looking at muscle cars, I'd been like, muscle cars would be our niche, just because it fit. I think the general term would be
what we're trying to do here, because muscle cars is a great niche, what we're trying to do is get a process that gets you these 4 websites. So we have to really define and make sure that we are just completely on task here with all these metrics, and not deviate and do things like, well, okay, then we'll just do one muscle car site, something like that, which would be a good idea, but that's not what we're trying to accomplish. So it's probably a good idea to start with, cars.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So if we probably went too low, too fast.
Yeah.
So probably car would have been a better one, and then from there you dig in deeper. Then you got your your import cars, you got your muscle cars, you got your Fast and Furious type cars.
Right.
All of that.
Let's try something like, for example, let's try sports cars.
Sports cars.
Yeah, and we'll see how big a niche that is.
Sports cars. All right.
Let's go see the audience.
Again, so it's funny. So if we're doing sports cars and muscle cars, we're looking at 5 to 6 million active monthly users, just like it says right here.
Right.
Okay. And we've got a lot of bigger Facebook pages down here. You can see just by simply looking in this box right here.
Right.
They're very sizable. It looks like they're pretty much on point. Like this Car ID is another one we already pulled up from muscle cars. Yeah. Speed Society. Yeah, those are another one we already pulled up in muscle cars.
So I think one thing to think about is that if you're doing this and your niche, the first place that you go, because I tried to drill down a little bit from cars because I thought cars was going to be too big. That if it's really right on the bubble of that 5 million, you might want to go up a level higher. And I think if we did cars, let's do cars and just see how big it is.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be enormous. Yeah.
70 to 80 million.
Right. Okay, so that's too big. From
here you can dive down.
Yeah, exactly. So if we did Mercedes-Benz, let's take a look at that. Well, I wanted to see the audience. So the audience was 1.9 million, right?
4.2 million, I guess, according to this. So maybe in the United States it's actually only 1 point something.
But let's do audience insights for Mercedes.
Sure.
So that's
great. So again, that's a big one. 8 to 9 million active users.
So it's too big.
Too big
for a sub niche. So let's do this. Let's go to let's do food. Let's start with food.
Okay.
So hey guys, while y'all are kind of going through this, I just want to kind of reiterate to folks, and I've been peeking at some of the questions.
Yeah.
Just to kind of reiterate to people what it is we're doing, because we've jumped from hunting to cars to food now, etc. So again, Steve, you want to kind of tell people, take one quick little tiny step back and reiterate what it is we're trying to do here in finding the niche?
Yeah, absolutely. Right now what we're doing is just kind of brainstorming, and we thought what we do is kind of walk through an example of how you just sit around and brainstorm with people and try and find the things that we wanted you to find, which were the two big niches or one big niche, depending on which option you choose. And you need to find the one big niche, and then you need to find sub-niches. So in this example, we've got food, and we know that that is clearly a big niche because it's got, I lost it now, I don't see where you went, but we've got 80 to 90.
It's 80 to 90 million.
Yeah, so we've got 80
Really
to 90
giant.
million, right. And so let's say under food, we could do, what do you want to do? You want to do like organic food or organic? Try that. Let's try organic food.
Organic food.
Yeah.
Still pretty big.
So we could actually start with, so now what we can do is we can say, organic food could be our big niche because it's 9 to 10.
Right.
And then let's go to organic farming from organic food.
Perfect. There's a good sized niche right there.
Okay, so this is good. So right now we've got organic food as our big niche, okay? And we have now identified one sub-niche, which is organic farming. So you see how that works? We've got our one big niche, and now we've got one sub-niche, which we will make into a website. And the reason that we know this is because we've got the organic food, which has more than 5 million. And then we went down to a sub-niche that was just a common sense one that is below 5 million. Now we also have to verify that we've got enough Facebook pages there that have the right audiences and stuff, but I can see already that they do. We've got
here.
Traditional medicine. You've got a lot of these have more than 150,000 likes.
Absolutely.
So you're well set up for a good. So this is a really good niche and sub niche.
Right.
Now, why don't we do because let's stick with a niche. We got one niche now, and we got one sub niche. Let's try. I'm just looking down here. Let's try non-GMO foods or GMO free.
Sure.
And we saw that in all sorts of different places when we did the big niche.
Yep.
Let's see what that one looks like.
700 to 800,000 monthly active people.
So good. So
Yep.
This is another one. So now we found another one. If we look down on the page likes, we've got plenty that are above 150,000.
Absolutely.
So we're looking good there.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got now one niche and two sub niches. Let's go back to organic food.
Okay.
Somebody writing these down because then I'll forget them. We've got.
Oh, I got a pencil. What do we got here?
We got organic.
Organic farming
is our
non-GMO.
Sorry, can you go up so I can see the audience insights?
Sure. Yeah. Sorry. Here we go.
So organic food is our big niche. Okay. Organic farming is one sub niche. GMO free food is another sub niche. And now I'm just kind of looking down the list. Now, see, I wouldn't traditional medicines or whatever. That to me doesn't really fit with.
How about cooking? How about cooking organic?
Yeah,
food
cooking,
or
organic
something
cooking. Yeah, let's try that.
Somebody
Sure.
cooking.
Or even organic recipes would be fine.
Yeah, either one. Yeah, either one. Let's try both, and we'll see.
This one's too small. Organic cooking's too small.
Yeah, try organic recipes.
No audience for organic recipes. Or interesting.
You have I think you have. Oh no. Okay, never mind. I thought you had something else.
Maybe organic gardening, but I guess it'd be close to farming, huh?
Yeah, I wouldn't put that one. Let's try. Let's go back to organic food and just see what else comes up under the pages.
Sure.
Let's see. Always get some very interesting.
This one's like a coupon sites. These two
Yeah.
big coupon sites.
What's the how about Organic Chef? Organic Chefs. Try that one.
Oh, I actually put the wrong thing there. Chefs. Doesn't have anything for Organic Chef.
How about cooking? Something along those lines. Cooking, like I know what did we try a second ago? Organic recipes didn't have anything, but maybe like cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Organic food.
Yeah, try organic cooking.
There you go. Too small.
Under vomiting. There was one that was under vomiting, which I kind of agree with. So how about let's do this. Let's do. We're doing organic. I think we can expand that to be vegan.
Yep.
You know, so let's do.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, let's do.
Vegan or natural foods might be a good term.
There you go. Vegan's a big one. But you probably can dial. You can dig down on that one if you needed to. I'm sure.
Let's do vegan cooking.
Yep.
Because it's pretty related.
How about vegan recipes?
Yeah, try that.
Yeah. All right, so right on the bubble.
That'll work.
Yep,
Let's take a look. The audience is
plenty of stuff down here.
Yeah, the audience is kind of low. So I would say.
You got a few in here you can make work though. Definitely some content. You got Vegan Magazine 183. You've got this one at 146. This one at 190. This one at 146.
And what is this topic?
Vegan.
Vegan
Recipes.
Vegan recipes. I like this. It's pretty nichey. It kind of belongs in the big niche. So we've got 3 now. What do we got for who's taking the notes? What do we got? 3. We got organic.
Yeah. Mark's got it. Vegan recipes, and then try vegan cooking. Just type in that real quick. I bet.
I already did it. It didn't come up with anything, but I'll type it again just for you.
Okay, just for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. Vegan. Maybe just try. Let's see. We can also raw veganism. See what that is. Is that big enough?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. And that's really
perfect.
Along really well with the organic stuff.
Absolutely.
And that is raw veganism?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because is there any other type, really?
Okay, so what do we got for the big niche?
Organic food for the big niche.
Right.
And then the 4 categories were organic farming, GMO-free, vegan recipe, and raw veganism.
Okay. Let's take some. You guys, Chris, have you been following this? Anybody have an idea on a big niche that they want us to try? Wow, a lot of them. Okay. Let's try. Okay, let's try acting.
Acting. All right. 15 to 20 million in acting.
Okay, so clearly it can be a big niche. Okay.
Absolutely.
But the challenge then is to find sub niches. Okay.
Right. So it depends on kind of which way you wanted to lean. Do we lean towards like the acting as a profession in itself, or we lean towards like movies or TV shows?
Right.
Or many questions.
How about
acting schools?
Yeah, I was just gonna say acting training or acting schools, yeah, that kind of thing.
Let's see that. Acting School Academy.
Yeah,
actual physical address.
Drama school, same thing.
See if that's a bigger one. Drama school. Oh, too small.
Yeah.
30 to 35.
Yeah, we're trying to get small, but not too small. I mean, that's kind of the challenge.
Right.
Acting lessons, acting training.
No acting lessons.
Okay.
Training.
No.
Modeling, acting training.
Yeah, try that.
And no audience.
No.
Okay. Voice acting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I
what
saw
we're
it
doing.
in there.
What we're doing today is voice acting.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. You wouldn't think it was so big, but yeah, 10 to 15 million people.
So that's very interesting. So voice acting is really a big niche.
Yep, absolutely.
I mean, that's kind of very interesting, actually.
Yeah.
What do we got? Let's use some other ones. How about tennis? That'll probably be a pretty good one. Put tennis in. So that should be a big niche.
Yeah, it's huge.
Okay.
So from there, you're going to want to focus on what part of tennis do you want to focus on? Ladies tennis, men's tennis?
Yeah,
Or
let's
just
try.
roll up.
Let's try men's tennis.
Let's try men's tennis.
How much was tennis? I didn't see.
Oh, huge.
It was big.
It was big. How do you say not men's tennis? How do you or like what's the tennis league called?
I don't know.
I don't know. ATP?
Is it really?
Yeah. Somebody's saying, well, like 30 people are saying ATP.
Association. Maybe this is it. I can't really tell what it is.
So ATP is, yeah.
There you go. Association of Tennis Professionals.
Yeah, that's
There you
perfect.
go. Yep.
That's great.
ATP. How
Well,
about
there's
try? Here's another one. USTA.
Yeah, USTA.
Got to be
Let's
something
get rid of this one.
Yeah, that's
and
good.
an association. Okay, so USTA is really
So
good.
okay, let's hold off on this one because we've got two. So just to let everybody know, so tennis was one of the suggestions, and it's obviously somebody is interested in it, is passionate about it. It's a great way to start. So we got tennis, and that is a big niche, and then we got what is it, the ATP? Was it
ATP and USTA.
ATP was one, and USTA. And so you can imagine now, some of you might be asking yourself, well, okay, but what could we possibly do on those sites? There's so much because, for example, if there was some crazy shot at Wimbledon or something like that, that would appeal to people who are interested in the USTA or the ATP and sort of the overall niche. So we did the organic food one, which I'll never remember the 4 sub niches, but we'll try and read those. We did tennis, and we found 2. Let's keep trying. Photography is a great one. We should have really started. Here's where we went wrong. We should have started with with things that people are like passionate about, because it makes it a lot easier. We were just trying to go off the beaten path a little bit. So photography.
All right, so photography is huge, huge niche.
Huge. So what we could try.
Probably digital photography.
Yeah. That's probably going to be big too. But
I would think so. No, it's perfect. 2 million to 2.5 million.
Perfect.
Excellent.
So digital photography can be a sub niche.
Right.
Because it's not bigger than 5.
Right.
Now again, we are glossing over. There are some other checks to make. If you go down to underneath where it says page likes, we are looking for Facebook audiences that are 150,000 or more for 4 pages at least. But all of these meet that criteria. And we do want you to go visit some of these pages and look for some other things too. But we're trying to give everybody like kind of a big picture look at what's going on here.
Yep. So perfect digital photography, what's the actual like black and white photography?
Yeah.
Or wedding photography, like types of venues, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, all of those are good. That's another
There
good
you go.
one.
Black and white
photography is great.
Yep.
So that's another winner.
Yep. And then like landscape photography or something.
Or my favorite nude photography.
There you go. There you go. No, that's probably not one of them in there. There you go. Perfect one. Landscape.
So landscape is good. So all that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did photography. That's good. Let's try. We got a whole bunch of them in here.
How about parenting? I want to do a parenting site.
You want parenting?
I feel like I'm qualified.
Yeah.
Do you want to try it?
Sure.
Parenting.
We know it's going to be huge.
Huge. 30 to 35 million. So now you're going to look at diving deeper.
Reluctant
So
parenting. That would be mine.
Mommy.
Yeah.
Let's see. What'd you say? Reluctant parenting?
I said reluctant parenting, but no, I was kidding. I don't think there's really going to be. No, I don't think. How about
let's see.
Teenage parenting or parenting
Let's
team?
see, being mommy or let's see, being mommy might be one that might work out well. There you go.
Yeah.
3.5 million. Just about like kind of mommy stuff.
Yeah, how to be
Yeah, you're a new mommy, that kind of thing. Things are great.
Like natural parenting.
Step parent.
Yeah, things are great until they can talk or drive. Step parents are probably really good.
Natural parenting.
Yeah, that's good.
That'll fit.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay,
That's
I think
another
we
one.
get the idea. Let's
okay, good.
Let's go back to the slides.
Free range parenting. Sorry.
Free range parenting. All right. Let me see how I can do that.
That's big in the news right now.
Yeah. Let me see
I
how.
would give it back to you. I just don't know exactly. Oh, make presenter. I found that.
I got it.
Okay, good.
Okay. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Okay. So this is a better slide to show how you get to the Audience Insight tool. Okay. So step 1, click that little, whatever that is. That little, I don't know what that is. Click that thing.
Down arrow.
Step 2, manage business, and then manage ads. And then you go into Audience Insights. Okay. And again, you're not doing any ads, and you won't be able to mess anything up. So don't worry. But let's again talk about what we're looking for. Okay. We're going to start here. If you're a beginner and you don't know you just aren't selling anything online or anything like that, then I want you to pick one big niche and find 4 sub niches. Okay. So we did that with organic food. Okay. Now, I think you'll learn from our examples that if you guys, hey, whoever's typing, if you could just put yourself on mute, that'd be great. You'll learn from our examples that if you pick things that are more like, passion or hobby or lifestyle related, it's a lot easier. Like, because we were trying all sorts of different things that I thought was a little bit more outside the box to give you an idea, but it ends up being a lot harder, and it's probably not the best thing to do for a webinar. So what you need to do is focus on those things like, photography, tennis. These are things that people are passionate about, their hobbies, things like that. It just makes it a lot easier. All right. And I would encourage you to pick one that you know something about. It's not a requirement necessarily, but it just makes things a little bit easier. It makes it more sense. And you can also find your sub niches with a little bit more common sense, So you start with one big niche and find 4 sub niches, and we'll define what those are again in a second. You do have the option of going with 2 big niches and find 2 sub niches, and understand the only purpose, or the purpose that this serves, the 4 sub niches will become your websites. Okay, and we'll talk about that in a second. All right, don't worry about what the one big niche will become. Just understand that the 4 sub niches are part of, related to the big niche. All right, so you've got photography is your big niche. Digital photography is one of the sub niches. Black and white photography was one of the sub niches. Landscape photography was one of the sub niches. Nude photography was one of my sub niches. Nobody else's apparently. Okay. So the definition of a big niche, it has to have 5 million for the audience. That's the only definition. And again, you'll need 1 or 2 of those. The sub niches must have a minimum audience size of 150,000. Okay, so you saw us try and find those. We found a lot of them that did, a lot of them that didn't. But maximum 5 million. If it has 5 million, they're too big, and they're actually a big niche. Now, if you find yourself starting with a big niche, okay, and you're looking for sub niches and all you can find are bigger ones, then your original big niche was maybe too big, and just start with one of the sub niches, make that the big niche, as long as it's greater than 5 million, okay? Now you're also looking for Facebook pages that there's at least 4 Facebook pages in that area. I think I have a picture of it. Let's see. Yeah, down here. So you see where it says page likes down here? So you'll see a bunch of Facebook pages below that. And those are pages that Facebook thinks are relevant to the audience that we're looking at currently. All right. So what we're looking for are at least 4 of those, and you saw us look at that have at least 100 to 150,000 likes. And it would be good to visit them and see that there's actually audience engagement going on. And I've got a couple slides of that too. Let's take a look at that. So this is just another example of what we were just doing. And here you go. This is a great example of what, if you look at right here, down at the bottom where it says page likes, this is just a blow up of that. All right. So we're looking at the Facebook audience, all right, for these pages. And then you can open the pages and check them out. See if people are sharing them, liking them. Okay. And we're going to go back and we will go back and summarize this too. Okay. So again, I want to be really clear. First, find yourself a big niche that you're passionate about or that you're interested in. Something. I just think it makes it easier, and I think, why not? All right. Now, if you're already selling something online, make sure that one of the niches you go with, if you're going to go with two, is applicable to your product. Okay. But find yourself a big niche, and it has a minimum of 5 million for the audience. And then from there, examine the sub niches, and you can do that by looking at all the material that comes back on audience insights, or you can also just simply use common sense. Okay. And the sub niches, the requirements there are the minimum audience size is 150,000. The maximum is 5 million. And if it's 5 million, if it's over 5 million, they're too big. They're really a big niche. And then looking at that
hey,
Facebook
Steve, can you show
page.
the?
Go ahead.
Hey Steve, can you show the screen with the 3 steps to find the audience insight tool real quick?
Yeah.
That one right there. That
yeah.
one. That one.
Yep. That's where you find this tool.
So it's either going to be underneath Manage Business if you have a business account. If you don't, then it's going to be underneath the Manage Ads section. Okay. If you have a brand new account, never used Facebook ads before, you may have to hit the Create Ads button before. I just can't remember exactly what the setup is there.
What's going to happen if they hit the Create Ads button? It's just going to...
It may walk you through the process of setting up the account, but you mean is once you set it up, you should have access to that Audience Insight tool on step 3.
Okay. And if people don't, we'll do some kind of video where you can get it. Sometimes when you're working with your Facebook account, it's already at a certain point. You can't remember what it used to look like, so it's hard to,
Right.
That's it.
Okay. All right. Let's move on and we'll come back. Okay. So once you have your 4 sub niches, all right, you actually have to get domain names. Okay. Now, Domains on Fire is a great tool to use for this. All right. You don't have to use it, but it's fun to use. The software is in the software section, and it has a really good user guide. So if you go to the help section, so I'm not going to do a tutorial tonight on it because there's a really good help section. So you go to the help section, and it'll explain how to look for domains, and we'll talk about the names that you want in just a second. What it also has is a health check there, and we'll talk about that. So you want to, Brent, you want to give just a couple of, I mean, you guys use these examples a lot. You want to talk just a little bit about, what a good domain name is? Because there's no right or wrong here, but.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So when I'm selecting a domain name, for me, I focus on the 3rd bullet point first and foremost. And it's got to be brandable. It's got to be something people can easily remember to type in to go back to. So that way, you get more traffic. So once once I find something in my head, I kind of start circling the ideas around. I try to stay away from things with hyphens and .com, or I try to use .coms, no .nets, no .orgs, and things of that nature, or .co. I do, and then I start looking, if I know the niche well, I'll start thinking of lingo. Like baseball is a great example. Strike zone, or you've got a balk, the balk report, which is a pitcher's term. You've got all the various terms that you can think of, the foul pole, just all the little kind of nuances of baseball or any niche that you may know that could create a little bit of a fun, playful URL or domain name. So you can see the 3 examples there. And so then when you're thinking about it, also think like newspaper and magazine kind of setup. Like if you go to the next slide there real quick.
Yep.
Ding.
Yeah, sorry. No, I don't. You don't have a next slide. Sorry.
Oh, I thought I did. Maybe it was one before. Was it one before?
Maybe.
Oh, no, I guess not. Okay, so I thought I had another one in there. My fault. So what was I thinking here? So newspaper, like, so what I'm thinking of, I guess the Times. I guess the Tent Times would be like, or Tent Gazette, or the Tent Report, for camping.
Right.
Something along those things. So that way it's kind of like newspaperish, newsy. Think like online magazine style. That's what I would suggest.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that makes at the end of the day, this is not terribly important because you're not really building like this amazing brand, that's going to be on billboards or anything like that. But you just, it's going to be showing up places, and you kind of want it to be catchy. Like think about, I freaking love science. That's pretty cool. But Huffington Post, that's pretty boring. I mean, it doesn't really mean much. Mashable, I don't know what the hell that means. But I love Brent's example of just combining like some term. If you don't have any idea, take your niche and take something from that niche and just combine it with Zone, Report, or Times, and you're done. And you don't have to worry about. And if that domain exists and you can get it, great, and you can find that through Domains on Fire. If not, just get a new domain. That's fine too. Sorry. Right. But that's probably the best. If you're not creative, like with names, because there are a lot of people that are not creative with names, just use those 3 things, Zone, Report, or Times, and put in front of it, some term that kind of, makes sense. So trowel, the strike, balk, tent, anything, all right? I mean, and combine it with any of those. That's probably a really good rule. Did you there's a link in the chat box here. Brent, what's that for?
Brent?
Darn mute button.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I put that in there because somebody sent that, whoever did, let's see, Jazzy Bear, whoever that is. Thank you very much. They put that in the chat box for us. That's a direct link to basically, the audience insight tool. So this kind of walk you through what it is, how to use it, and then how to find it if you don't have an account set up.
Perfect. Love it. Okay, excellent.
Also, a lot of people are asking, do you need a business account or just a personal account?
Good question.
To access it.
No,
right. I don't remember if I have a personal or a business, but I can get into that link, no problem.
Yeah.
If you're going to treat this like a business, you're eventually going to want to get a business Facebook account, which we'll cover in detail later on. However, if you have your personal Facebook account, you can easily access the Insight tool as well.
Right. So the answer.
And just to answer someone else's question, you can open another Facebook account just for your business.
Yeah.
Correct. You can do that, and I highly suggest it. And we'll go over that in detail.
Yeah, you definitely should do that, but we're not going to do that tonight. Chris, can we make sure that this link is provided with the replay?
Yes.
So that people can get right to insights. And that way there isn't any confusion. But here's my takeaway from the domain names, because I'm one of those guys who's I'm just like not good with naming things. I just really suck. So I would just take, any kind of term from your niche and put Zone, Report, or Times in front of it and be done with it, and get the .com. And if you are creative, good for you. And I would not worry about, all these other things are kind of nice things like age domains. They're nice as long as they're not banned by AdSense. So what I would do is I would think about your, like the strike zone. I would go to Domains on Fire. I would put that in there. I would put like strike zone in there or strike in there, and I would just see what domains are available. So let's say you put in strike, into Domains on Fire, and back came, 4 or 5 domains, and one of them was a nice age domain that would be appropriate for this, then you can get it through Domains on Fire, and you can also do a health check. Do people want to see me do that real quickly? Just if you say
you
yes.
can.
Yeah.
And while you go into that, a lot of people are asking about, why an age domain, etc. If like Steve had mentioned, get a .com if you can. It's gonna provide the most credibility for your brand moving forward, right? But stay away from hyphens. Get a .com. If you can't get an aged domain that really fits with your niche, you don't have to totally worry about it. The purpose of an aged domain would be more for, in the eyes of like Google and some of the other ad networks that want to see that, you're not just a fly-by-night type of thing, but, it's not the most critical element, as far as it goes. So you don't have to worry about it if that's the case.
You guys are just gonna have to bear. You can't. Can you see my screen right now? Or is it just
No,
frozen?
we still see the slides.
What's that?
The slides.
Okay. You're just gonna have to bear with me 1 second. And you got some other examples of good names, Mark?
Whew. Stage fright all of a sudden, Steve. So, just like you were saying, it really depends on what your niche is. Like you said, the Times, the Gazette, something Report, something Buzz. It really kind of just depends on, the Zone. Somebody said Zone. That's a great one. Any of those kind of adjectives or, just kind of descriptive things. A lot of people are asking about keywords. Do we need to, keyword stuff the URL? That's not so important. You want to think about brandability, really mostly. If it's a site about muscle cars, you're probably going to at least have the word cars in there. You want to, the URL to be relative.
Yeah.
But, at the end of the day, I guarantee I could, I could create a site called, I don't know, waxadumaflachi.com,
right.
and I could make it work, right? It would just be okay.
Hey. So some people asked a question about where they can find Domains on Fire. Just to access the membership area.
Yeah.
It's listed in there.
Yeah, but I'm having a problem getting to it because it's kind of a long story. Just because I was I've got the development versions, and I can't get the production version right now. Chris, can you get the production version of Domains on Fire up by any chance? Any chance of that? We'll let you. We'll kind of go on. We'll move on while maybe you try that. Because I'm not going to be able to do it because I have the debug version right now, and I can't get the production version. So
right.
But if you could give that a try. Sorry.
I'll say this to folks. As you're going through this niche selection and domain name selection, at the end of the day, you're going to have we're going to have 4 websites. So yes, you're going to need an individual domain name for each site. So like the example we had for organic food as the main category, we had organic farming, so that would be organicfarming.com, gmofree.com, veganrecipe.com, and rawveganism.com.
Right.
Ideally, those aren't available, I guarantee, but you get the idea. So you're going to need to have 4 domain names, one for each website, and ideally in that example, that was one for each niche.
And Steve, I've got the Domains on Fire up on my screen if you'd like me to run with it.
Awesome. All right, but that means we have to change you to presenter again. All right. Let's see if we can figure that out. All right. Now we have a million people who are able to do it. All right, I'm going to transfer over to Brent. You ready?
Ready.
All right, let's see.
Got it.
Okay.
And I'm going to hit this button, and boom. Okay. So this is Domains on Fire. So if I was going to cook, or if I'm going to use anything, let's just use Strike, for example.
Yeah, let's definitely use Strike. And let's just leave everything blank for now and just do a search.
Sure. And then I'll just search it down here.
Yeah, because I don't think there'll be tons. So what Domains on Fire does is it has access to all the domains that are becoming available. It's not like it's not like the GoDaddy tool that says is this domain ever registerable. These are ones that are coming off of the coming off of being, they're either on auction or they're expired or something like that. So you can get these domains. So, I wonder if we should, 3 strikes when you're out. There you go. It's kind of, that's sort of an interesting. As far as, another thing you could do is we could get rid of like numbers and stuff. If we go back to,
Yes.
Let's go back to the search screen.
Yep.
Make this a little bit better. I didn't think there was going to be that many. So let's go with strike, and then let's try exclude all of that.
Okay.
And then let's do maximum length.
It does. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, let's do like I don't know. Let's do 15.
15.
Yeah.
And you want to limit it to .com only? Or?
Yeah, let's try that too. Yep. All
right, here we go. Bang.
We got 423 before, so I guarantee we'll have like 1 now, maybe.
Onestrike.com.
Yeah.
It's slow. Sorry.
What this does is it has, like I said, it has access to all of these different domains that are coming available. That's still quite a large number of them.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Captain Striker, Cash Strike, Claim Strikes.
So you can do all sorts of fun things here, and now some of them are really expensive. I mean, that's another thing. So why don't we go back and let's change it to just GoDaddy auctions, because there's quite a number of them. So
a lot of GoDaddy auctions, and then you want me to get the ones that are like below, say, $50?
Yeah, let's just do. Let's do just GoDaddy auctions over to the right, and there you go. Yeah, let's do max price $50.
Perfect.
And again, if you guys just want to do a new domain name, that's perfectly fine. It really is. There are some potential advantages. I don't know if you hit the search button because it doesn't look like it's working, but maybe it did. I don't know if you did or not. There it goes.
It's saying some sort of script error. Let me reload real quick.
Yeah, I think you're not actually supposed to hit the back button, but
I apologize. I'm gonna mess it up somehow, right?
Yeah. That's why there are navigation buttons.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, so hitting, using new domains is absolutely fine. And you can just go to GoDaddy and register a brand new domain, and it's perfectly fine. All right, so here we go. So we got 19 using that example. And, so these are like $12. So, but is there anyone like Fly Strike? Maybe. I don't know.
Rolling Strike.
Rolling Strikes, yeah. Strike Cricket, that'd be a good one for Cricket. So, but you guys get the idea. You know what? Do the health check. So go over to any of these. Anything. Pick anything. Go over to domain health over on the right-hand side. No, over on the right. No, what are you hitting? Dude, go over to domain health on the right-hand side. Under action.
Shoot, I'm sorry. My fault.
Alrighty then.
Jeez. I didn't realize. That's the first time I used it with the new stuffy on there.
All right, so just go back and now. There you go. You can try it, but you've got it so messed up. I'll be amazed if it does anything. There it is. So what we're doing here is the one thing you want to make sure of when you're buying a domain is you want to make sure that it's not been blacklisted and that it hasn't been banned by Google AdSense. Okay, so you definitely want to make sure of that. Let's see if, not a big surprise.
Yeah, I messed it up.
But anyway, what will come up, okay, is a whole health report. And it'll show you these check marks that say, yes, it's okay, or no, it's not okay, or anything like that. Okay, you have gotten it all messed up now.
I'm literally simply pushing one button at a time.
Great, yeah. So anyway, I think we've spent enough time on that. I'm going to take the screen back, and like I said, that shows there's a good tutorial that shows you how to do that.
I also posted a link to everybody on the on a site I use. It's like an AdSense sandbox. You just type the domain name in, and if ads show up, then it's good.
Yep, there you go. Yep, you can do that too. Okay, I'm just trying to get my screen back here. Trying to take over the interlopers.
I think Brent will be banned from Domains on Fire.
It still has an error. See?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, you're
I'm fine.
you're not allowed to use it anymore. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about hosting. So when do you? Here's a funny part of when do you know? Because a lot of people have asked me this, like when do you know your hosting is really not up to stuff? Unfortunately, most of the time you know it when your site runs out of bandwidth. That's kind of when you know it. Otherwise, people they'll tell you it's the greatest hosting in the world and all that kind of stuff. But so I recommend that you use the hosting that we recommend because it is required if you want to do the push button build of the websites. Okay. Now you do not have to do that. Okay. If you're somebody who knows how to build websites, you have your own domains, you have your own hosting, you're going to build your own sites. It's not going to stop you from doing any of the other things that the Launchpad does. But, and this kind of makes sense if you know a little bit about how computers work and how hosting works and stuff. In order to make it really push button, we had to go with one hosting company. Okay, so that we could write a program that actually installs, the website and everything. So please use the hosting that we recommend if you're going to use the push button software to build sites. And frankly, if you have any little doubt that your hosting might not be up to snuff, but you can't really ask us like, well, is Joe's hosting company going to work? I don't know. I mean, the only time you know is when it doesn't work. Okay, so it's like $7 a month for SiteGround. And you can go to this. There's a link in the resource area, in the members area, and there's a link here, and we've got a bit of a special deal. It's not that fantastic, but it was the best we could do. So it's like $7 a month for the Grow Big plan, and that'll be fine. That'll be fine. Plus, you'll be able to use it with the push button software. Okay. All right. Let me move. Okay. So what are the go, no-go requirements for session 1? I'd like you to, remember the action items are to find your big niche and to find your sub-niches. And then also to list the domains you'll be acquiring. Okay, and it doesn't matter if they're new or, if you're going to buy them on an auction. You saw those domains were like $12. New domains are, Chris, what are new domains now? Like $3 or $2, $5? Depends on the domain, but
yeah, usually what you do if you want to go to GoDaddy, you just type in GoDaddy domain coupon code and you'll get a couple bucks off for the first year.
Yeah. So what I want you to do is when you've selected your big niche, when you've done all these things, you selected your big niche, you've selected your 4 sub niches, which are your sites, and you have your domain names. I want you to send all those in one email. Don't send one piece of this. Wait until you have all of it done. Send them all in one email to 100kfactorysession1@gmail.com because we want a chance to review them and say, yeah, it makes sense. Okay? Now, just a quick interruption from the structure. We're going to do a case study along with you guys, but I need some feedback from you. We can do this in 2 different ways. We could be a week ahead of you. In other words, we could have gotten on here today and said, here's our big niche, and here's our 4 niches, and here's our domain names because we're going to play along. Or when that's ahead of you. Or we could be on the same schedule. In other words, we could come back and report on the case study just prior to jumping into something new. So right now we are on the same schedule, but we can quickly catch up, and then we can do 2 sessions worth. So if we're on the same schedule, then next week the first thing we'll do is say, okay, well, here's our homework, here's our action items from the previous week. All right. But if we're a week ahead, we will show you that as an example before you do it. So type in the chat box ahead or same and tell me which one you want us to be. Okay.
Well, I see a lot of ahead,
Yeah.
Steve.
Chris, what are your thoughts? It looks like ahead wins. Yeah?
I'm going to write behind.
Hey, man. I think you're still outvoted, Chris.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah. I think somebody's like, I don't understand the question. I get it. It's so, in other words, we can either do it at the same time you are, meaning we'll do it in between the sessions, or we will have it done on the session where we train you how to do it. That's kind of what we mean. And being ahead of you means it's done beforehand. So, you know what we'll do is we'll take a look at the chat log, and because it actually looks a little bit too close to call, seriously. So we'll take a look at the chat log and decide. All right. All right. Good. I think a lot of people are circling in on the ahead because then they'll see it, you know, as a great example. So, okay.
Hey, Mark, there's lots of questions. Sorry.
Mhm.
There are lots of questions about the hosting. They're asking if they can host all their websites on the same host and transfer other sites that they're already hosting on their current hosting to the new platform.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but so at SiteGround, just like a lot of the other hosting companies, Bluehost, etc., for $7 on the $7 plan, you know, you can host multiple websites on that one hosting plan.
Yeah.
And that's kind of their middle of the road shared plan. So, you know, it'll be great to start with. And then, hey, if you got a site that's getting, you know, 1 million page views a month, you know, you'll want to kind of upgrade to one of their better plans that has a little more better, you know, server oomph.
Yeah.
But you can certainly do that very easily there. But, you know, $7 a month plan is a great place to start, and you can do all of your sites. And even if you have other sites, you know, you can do 5, 8, 10. I think it's unlimited sites, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whatever.
Yep. Good. So the other thing we need for the case study is we need a niche. So I'd like you guys to pick it for us. So we're going to do like basically, you know, an improv here. So if you would, type in any niche ideas you'd like us to use, and we will download the chat log, and then we'll pick like the top 5 suggestions, and we'll just do a sanity check, make sure we can actually do it. And we'll pick that as our big niche, and then we'll find 4 sub niches underneath it. Okay. So, and then we'll report back on that. So if you could just type in anything for big niches. Cool. All right, we got a lot of them. And I'm not doing.
I just saw midget something go by.
I'm not doing cats. So I just want you to know that. Definitely not. Okay.
Not even kittens?
No.
Geez, a lot of them in there.
Brazilian butt lift.
Yes, that's my favorite. Okay. All right.
You
So
got it, right, Chris?
we'll pick one out of the chat log, and you know, we'll pick like the top 5, and then we will we'll just do a sanity check on, and we'll pick one of those, and that's the one we'll go with. That'll become our case study. Okay. Okay. And by the way, so the case study is we're going to just do this with you. So next time when we come, I think we're probably going to end up doing things ahead of time. So we'll have the homework for this session done, and the homework for the session done next time. We'll have done beforehand. Okay. All right. So let's open this up for questions and answers, and then we'll summarize where we're at. So Chris, have you seen like a bunch of common questions? Because now I've polluted the chat box with a lot of like niches and ahead, behind, and all that kind of stuff. So have you seen
I think a lot of them
one
have
that
been
keeps
answered.
coming up? Good.
SiteGround URL and then the email address for the go no go.
Oh, okay. So let's see.
Yeah, and all this, guys, is going to be, you know, in the replay, etc., in the members area. So,
Yeah.
You know, don't forget, you'll get to see all these.
All the slides. So here is the go no go. It's just, and this will be the format, right? We have 100K factory help, 100K factory emergency, and each session will have its own if they have a go no go point. So 100K factory session 1, okay, is the at gmail.com is the email address, and then SiteGround, it's just siteground.com/go/100K, and they give you some kind of promotional deal. All right. And if you can get a better deal somewhere else with SiteGround though, then go crazy.
Sure. And if you have your own hosting, then you have your own hosting.
Yeah, but just know that you can't use the push button build. That's all. So you can't, but you can do everything else. So don't worry about that. All it does is install the site. Okay, so it doesn't break anything else, as far as posting and content and all that kind of stuff. But it does not. We cannot do the push button installation. So if you want just push button installation, you never have to worry about building the site. Then you've got to use the hosting here that we're recommending. Okay. Okay. So Chris, what do you think about questions and stuff like that we can get through that are there were a lot.
I think one was that the Facebook Insights was going pretty fast.
Yeah.
I do know we have some resources we can give people.
Right. Okay. Well, we can also do a little bit of another review of that in a couple minutes. But what else? What other? I know there's like a lot of things in the chat box here.
Yeah, WordPress installs. These are WordPress sites that we're referring to.
Yeah.
A lot of people are asking about that.
Okay. So somebody's asking about purchasing domains directly from Domains on Fire. Not really. All it does is it shows you what's available in other places, and then it has a nice link that just says go get it, and then it just sends you over there. So for example, with GoDaddy Auctions, if you find a site that you want to get, you just click the button there. It says buy it, and all it does is send you over to GoDaddy Auctions. So there's no affiliate links or anything like that. It just all its purpose is to collect these domains that are available all over the place and present them to you in one spot that you can slice and dice. The other thing it does for you is that health check, and you can do that even with just a URL that's not in Domains on Fire, meaning that it's maybe a new one, or not that a new one would have to be checked, but if it's not available through some other means that Domains on Fire wouldn't know about it, you can just type the URL in directly and do a health check, and all that's in the quick little user's guide. It's not like a 500-page manual or anything. It's very, very straightforward. Okay. Somebody's asking, do you want to see the domains before purchasing them? I think it's a good idea. Yeah, that's kind of the whole purpose of the go no go. So if you can put all that information, let's talk through that. The what goes in the go no go. So we want the big niche, and we want the 4 sub niches. So in our example, the big niche would be photography. In one of our examples, photography. And then we would have digital photography, black and white photography, landscape photography, and nude photography.
Whoa!
That was one of mine. Okay. So those would be, and then I'd have to have domain names. So, I might go with the digital zone, or the digital report or something, which is probably taken, but you can riff off of that. The nude zone. There you go. Because I have no creativity when it comes to names. All right. And let me just go through this, and then we'll come. You know what? Let me go back to the this, because I think this is the key here. So I just want to review this one more time. These are your 2 choices. Most people should just pick the one big niche with the 4 sub niches. And there are reasons. I've seen some questions in there about, well, why are we doing it this way? This is the easiest path to building the income that we need to get to. Okay? And that's all we care about right now. Okay? So we want to drag you along this process. And so we're trying to take you down the path of least resistance. So that's why we're suggesting that you follow this. Okay. So one big niche with 4 sub niche sites, that's what we're looking for. And again, you can do the 2 big niches with the 2 if you're already doing some stuff, but let's focus on the 1. Start with something that you have passion about, or you're interested in, or somebody you know is interested in. It just makes things a hell of a lot easier. Okay? You saw us struggle with things that we didn't really care about or know about. We were just trying to use them as examples. And then once we got into things that people are passionate about, it's cake. So your big niche has to have a minimum of 5 million for the audience. That's the only definition of the big niche. So find one of those. The sub niches, they have to have a minimum audience size of 150K, but no more than 5 million. And then in that area, Facebook pages, all right, which I showed you down here where it says page likes. We have a blow up of it right here. You have to find 4 pages in this list that have an audience of 150,000 or more. 100 to 150,000. Okay? And I would look at all 4 of those pages and just make sure that they've got some content that's been shared quite a bit. And showed some examples of that here. This has been shared 173 times. It's just indicative of not only is it big enough, but there's enough people who engage with it, right? Okay. All right. Just see. Now, if you're totally lost with niches and you feel like you've given it a try, but I just can't do it, we'll just give you a big niche and 4 sub niches, and then you can go find some domains. But give it a try. Give it a few days at least. Okay. Now here's a sneak peek of session 2. And again, I put 4 here, but we probably will not be creating 4. It'll be dependent upon some rules. We'll tell you about that. But we will begin building out the 4 sites. Okay? The 4 websites. And we certainly will build at least 1 Facebook page. We'll be doing the initial content loading of your Facebook pages. And we'll be picking your initial monetization. Okay? All right. Let me get, now, here's what I ask you guys to do because it's 100 shares, Tommy, because I've kind of polluted the chat box a little bit. So I'm going to ask you guys to just repeat questions, and let's go with that. So Christopher's asking, what if the pages have over 150K? That's fine. They just have to have at least 150K. So if you go back to here, must be at least 150K. That means if it's more, that's fine. Okay. SiteGround has Startup, Grow Big, or Go Geek, and we've been recommending Grow Big. Okay. Somebody's asking, worried to be too overwhelming for beginners or people who aren't selling anything to the 2 big niches. Yeah, not so much overwhelming, just focus. It's just easier to focus on one niche and get the traffic that you need to the 4 sites. So that is what I would prefer. Again, it kind of goes back to just trusting us and following the plan, okay? So yeah, this is a pretty important question. Marty is asking, and I'm going to pull up the slide here. Where'd it go? Let me find it. No. Yeah, here it is. He's asking which one, the audience or the Facebook audience, are we measuring the 150K? We're measuring the audience, right, Brent? Now I got myself confused. And he's on mute. It'll take him an hour.
It's the Facebook audience. It's the Facebook audience.
It's the Facebook one. Okay, great. So it's the far right column, or not the far right. The Facebook, the column that's labeled Facebook. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, if you have no. Okay.
Want to cover the push?
Well, hold on. This is a really important question. Debbie's asking, if we have questions stemming from this session and specific to the assignment, should we send them to 100K Factory Session 1? No, 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 no. The only reason to use 100K Factory Session 1, and I understand why there's confusion in that, and I should probably have added a go, no-go on there. The only reason to use that email is for go, no-goes, okay? Hey, I'm done. I did what you asked me to do, and here's my big niche. Here are my sub-niches. Here are my domains. That is the only reason I want you to use that email address. That is only for go, no-go kinds of decisions, okay? If you have any questions, just send it to the support, the 100K Factory help, okay?
There's lots and lots of questions about the push button system. Can you explain it one more time?
Sure. I mean, push button software, all I'm referring to is if you aren't familiar with installing WordPress and building a website, we have software that will just do it for you. So you just push a button and you tell it, here's my domain, and it's hosted at the place where we told you to host it, and everything works. So that's what I mean. It's just to install the websites that we're going to be building. Okay, that's its sole purpose. Okay, I don't know what that means. Why need 5 DNs? I don't know what that means. What if those pages with 100 to 150,000 likes are things like Walmart or other stores that are selling things? Does that count? It's a really good question. It probably doesn't count. There's a little bit of common sense that has to be applied there. We didn't really see anything where that happened, but I would be suspicious if it's all retail establishments. I would definitely be suspicious of that, and that would probably send me away from there. Please post the link to SiteGround. Guys, that link is in the members area under the resource section. Okay. Is there a minimum or recommended age to the website? No, don't even worry about that. Is it 100 to 150 likes or shares? It's not 100 or 150. It's 100 to 150,000, and it refers to the audience size. So when we were, all right, let me go over here. When we were talking about here, yeah, and that's my mistake. I actually put likes, and I shouldn't have. Facebook pages, at least 4, that have an audience size of 100 to 150K. So that was my fault. Although they're probably very similar. They're probably measured in a very similar way. But what I meant, to be very specific, what I'm talking about is the audience under the Facebook column. Okay? All right. Let's see. When will we buy our domain names? So I would encourage you to buy your domain names after you get the okay from us. Okay. When do we have to have the go, no-go emailed by? I would do it, we're trying to get these things done in between the sessions. So the next session is Thursday. Okay. So clearly before then, and it would be great to do it sooner rather than later so you can get your domains.
Steve, I saw earlier a lot of people were talking about ads and things. We're nowhere near running ads yet.
No.
Folks. So
I think I've answered a lot of these already. A lot of questions on the push button and all that kind of stuff. You're fine with the grow big, I promise. You're not going to run out of room or space or number of websites or anything like that. When is a big niche too big? A big niche is too big when you can't find any, when all the sub niches you look at are really big niches, right? So, if you picked cars, I think we had that problem with cars. It's really probably too big. And at that point, what you should do is pick one of the sub niches. Let's see. I think I've answered all of those. Okay, yeah, definitely. So a lot of people are asking the same question about, do we buy the domain names before the next class? Yes, you definitely do. Okay, but only after you've gotten the go, no go back from us that says you're good. All right. So we'd rather you wouldn't spend any money until we kind of know that, until we've taken a look at it. All right. What's the reasoning behind the size of the big and the sub niches? Well, what we're trying to do is get big, but, just big enough, like just right. We don't want too big. We don't want too small. Okay. And
just a little, and to build on that.
Yeah.
Just because if I'll give you an example. Let's say I had a site just about food, okay, and I was writing just about food, and I decided one day to write about breakfast, and the other day to write about dinner, and the other day to write about dessert. You just may not catch the person that likes breakfast. You may not catch the person that likes dessert. So your content doesn't have a home, doesn't have like a focus. So it allows us to get you really hyper focused on a niche, so your content can be hyper focused, and therefore you're going to get better results.
Yep. Question about, should we be concerned about what we are going to monetize the site with prior to picking a sub niche? No. I don't want you to think about anything other than what we've laid out here tonight. There's plenty here, that's for sure. And I've really confused people with the push button software. Good grief. I must have gotten 50 questions about push button software. Don't worry about it. I would urge you, if you're a beginner, okay, just get the hosting where we told you to get it, and you'll be covered. If you've built websites before and you're comfortable with WordPress, then you can get the hosting there, or don't worry about it, and everything else will be just fine. And let's just forget I ever said push button software. Okay. I like Julie's question. I am not confused, just FYI. I love that. Love it. Okay, I found a big niche of 10 to 15 million. I am unsure of finding sub niches. So John, you just start there, and you can even go outside of Facebook Insights. Hell, just type it in Google and see what comes up, and that'll point you, I guarantee you, into all sorts of different directions. But it should be, these niches, they should be something that you kind of know something about, right? And if you know something about the niche, then you're going to be able to just come up with sub niches, even if they don't show up in front of you. And then all you have to do is verify them. Okay. Are all niches oh hell, is that a word? Monetizable.
Monetizationized?
Yes, they are. Can the adult category work for this? No, I wouldn't do that right now. So
here's also in terms of the adult category, adult drugs, guns, knives, you got to use your common sense. And here's something that's probably super important. And we'll include it in the members area. A link to like the Facebook terms of service page, right? And on that page, they talk about all the things that they don't really like to allow. And it's a good read. It'll put you to sleep, so you have to do it on several different nights. But
yeah,
that's going to be really the same across Google and any other networks that are out there. There are certain topics that they all prohibit, right? So you definitely just want to stay away from that. There's so much traffic out there. You don't have to tease people in with soft adult natured type of topics.
Yeah.
Right. There's just, we make money on, I don't know, shoelaces, right? It doesn't have to be right up to the edge.
Yep. Let me see. There was another one I wanted to look at here. Question. Are there niches that look really good at the beginning and then really suck when you get to the monetization phase? I don't think so. No. At least particularly when you're doing the first phase, like phase one, because if you're doing AdSense or things like it, you don't really even care that much. You don't even know what they're selling. Michael. Don't worry about keywords. You don't have to worry about anything like that. No. It's very hard to find audience pages that have 150K at least. If that's the problem, then I would pick a different big niche, because that tells me that your big niche is not big enough or doesn't have any engagement. So, usually when you can't find what you should be finding, then you've picked the wrong thing. So, okay, guys, it's I don't even know what time it is. Let's see, 10:06. So we've been here for over 2 hours now. I think what we're going to do is close this up for now. Here's what I think we're going to do. I think we might do, just to get everybody, because I just want everybody to get on the right foot here. I think we might do like a supplementary on this stuff, maybe Monday night. I don't know. I'll talk to the boys, because I want to make sure that we nail this out of the gate. And I'm not 100% convinced that everybody's on board yet. So I want to make sure that they are. So let us think about that. In the meantime, those of you who are very clear, please go forth. And let's take a look. Just look at the action items here. So select your niches, or just your niche, which I would prefer for most of you, and your sub-niches and your 4 domains. Get your hosting and do your go, no-go form submission. But again, you can do that in a particular order. You can select your big niche, then find your sub-niches, which will be your domain names, which will be your domains, eventually your websites. Then find your domain names, put those in the go, no-go. In parallel with that, you can get your hosting plan all set up. And then once you get your go, no-go back, you can buy your domains. Okay? That's probably the right way to go. All right, well, I'm going to close up shop now, and we'll see you in support and all that kind of stuff. And stand by, because over the weekend we'll kind of give you what we think we're going to do to kind of help things out a little bit, because we want to get everybody off to the right start. And like I said, I'm not sure that everybody is off to the right start, so we'll do something else. If you do not get an email over the weekend, please remember to go in the members area and go to that email area and sign up again. Please, please, please. Okay, we'll catch you all in a bit. Take care.